Act 1 of A Pleasant Commodie of Faire Em, the Miller's Daughter of Manchester, with the love of William the Conqueror, by William Shakespeare. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Dramatis Personae.
William the Conqueror, read by Rick Cordray.
Zweno, King of Denmark, read by Alan Mapstone.
Duke Dirot, read by David Purdy.
Marquis of Lubeck, read by BeeswaxcandleMountney.
Mountney, read by
Manville, read by Brad.
Rozilio, read by Bev Stevens.
DeMarch, read by redrun.
Danish Embassador, read by
The Miller of Manchester, read by
ToddHWTrotter, His Man, read by Greg Giordano.
Citizen of Chester, read by Agnes Robert
BehrBlanche, Princess of Denmark, read by Kelly Taylor.
Mariana, Princess of Suethia, read by Jenn
BrodaFair Em, the Miller's Daughter, read by Sarah Brown.
Eleanor the Citizen's Daughter, read by Henrietta
StraussValingford, read by Ehsan Ahmed
MehediMessenger, read by Agnes Robert
Soldier, read by David Purdy.
Stage Directions, read by Sonia. Actus Primus, Scena Prima. Act 1, Scene 1. Windsor, a state apartment. Enter William the Conqueror, Marquis Lubeck, with a picture, Mountney, Manville, Wallingford, and Duke Dirot.
What means fair Britain's mighty conqueror, so suddenly to cast away his staff, and all impassioned to forsake the tilt?
My lord, this triumph we solemnize here is of mere love to your increasing joys, only expecting cheerful looks for all. What sudden pangs then moves your majesty to dim the brightness of the day with frowns?
Good my lords, misconster not the cause, at least suspect not my displeased brows. I amorously do bear to your intent, for thanks and all that you can wish I yield. But that which makes me blush and shame to tell is cause why I thus turn my conquering eyes to coward's looks and beaten fantasies.
Since we are guiltless, we the less dismay to see this sudden change possess your cheer. For if it issue from your own conceit, bred by suggestion of some envious thoughts, your highness' wisdom may suppress it straight. Yet tell us, good my lord, what thought it is that thus bereaves you of your late content, that in advice we may assist your grace, or bend our forces to revive your spirits?
Marquess Lubeck, in thy power it lies to rid my bosoms of these thrall-dumps, and therefore, good my lords, forbear a while that we may partly of these private cares, whose strength subdues me more than all the world.
We go and wish thee private conference. Public effects in this accustomed peace.
Exit all but William and the Marquis.
Now, Marquess, must a conqueror at arms disclose himself thralled to unarmed thoughts, and threatened of a shadow yield to lust. No sooner had my sparkling eyes beheld the flames of beauty blazing on this piece, but suddenly a sense of miracle imagined on thy lonely mistress' face made me abandon bodily regard and cast all pleasures on my wounded soul. Then, gentle Marquess, tell me what she is, that thus thou honourest on thy warlike shield. And if thy love and interest be such as justly may give place to mine, that if it be, my soul with honour's wings may fly into the bosoms of my dear. If not, close them and stoop into my grave.
If this be all renowned conqueror, advance your drooping spirits and revive the wonted courage of your conquering mind. For this fair picture painted on my shield is the true counterfeit of lovely Blanche, princess and daughter to the king of Danes, whose beauty in excess of ornaments deserves another manner of defence, pomp, and high person to attend her state than Marquis Lubeck any way presents. Therefore her virtues I resign to thee, already shrined in thy religious breast, to be advanced and honoured to the full, nor bear I this an argument of love, but to renown fair Blanche, my sovereign's child, in every place where I by arms may do it.
Oh, Marquess, thy words bring heaven unto my soul, and had I heaven to give for thy reward, thou shouldst be throned in no unworthy place. But let my uttermost wealth suffice thy worth, which here I vow, and to aspire the bliss that hangs on quick achievement of my love, thyself and I will travel in disguise to bring this lady to our Britain court.
Let William but bethink what may avail, and let me die if I deny my aid.
Then thus, the Duke Dirot and ToddHWDimarch will I leave substitutes to rule my realms, while mighty love forbids my being here. And in the name of Sir Robert of Windsor will go with thee unto the Danish court. Keep William's secrets, Marquess, if thou love him. Bright Blanche, I come. Sweet fortune favour me, and I will laud thy name eternally.
Exeunt. Scene 2. Manchester. The interior of a mill. Enter the miller and M, his daughter.
Come, daughter, we must learn to shake off pomp, to leave the state that erst beseemed a knight and gentleman of no mean descent, to undertake this homely miller's trade. Thus must we mask to save our wretched lives, threatened by conquest of this hapless isle, whose sad invasions by the Conqueror have made a number such as we subject their gentle necks unto their stubborn yokes of drudging labour and base peasantry. Sir Thomas Goddard now old Goddard is, Goddard the miller of fair Manchester. Why should I not content me with this state, as good Sir Edmund Trafford did the flails? And thou, sweet Em, must stoop to high estate, to join with mine that thus we may protect our harmless lives, which, led in greater port, would be an envious object to our foes that seek to root all Britain's gentry from bearing countenance against their tyranny.
Good father, let my full resolved thoughts with settled patience to support this chance be some poor comfort to your aged soul. For therein rests the height of my estate, that you are pleased with this dejection, and that all toils my hands may undertake may serve to work your worthiness content.
Thanks, my dear daughter. These thy pleasant words transfer my soul into a second heaven, and in thy settled mind my joys consist, my state reviewed, and I in former plight. Although our outward pomp be thus abased, and thralled to drudging, stay lease of the world, let us retain those honourable minds that lately governed our superior state, wherein true gentry's the only means that makes us differ from base millers born. Though we expect no knightly delicates, nor thirst in soul for former sovereignty, yet may our minds as highly scorn to stoop to base desires of vulgar worldliness, as if we were in our present way. And, lovely daughter, since thy youthful years must needs admit as young affections, and that sweet love unpartial perceives her dainty subjects through every part, in chief receive these lessons from my lips, the true discoverers of a virgin due. Now requisite, now that I know thy mind, something inclined to favour Manville's suit, a gentleman, thy lover in protest, and that thou mayest not be by love deceived, but try his meaning fit for thy desert. In pursuit of all amorous desires, regard thine honour. Let not vehement sighs, nor earnest vows importing fervent love, render thee subject to the wrath of lust. For that, transformed to form of sweet delight, will bring thy body and thy soul to shame. Chaste thoughts and modest conversations, of proof to keep out all enchanting vows, vain sighs, forced tears, and pitiful aspects, are they that make deformed ladies fair, poor, rich, and such enticing men that seek of all but only present grace, shall in perseverance of a virgin's due prefer the most refusers to the choice of such a soul as yielded what they thought. But ho! Where is Trotter?
Here enters Trotter the miller's man to them, and they within call to him for their grist.
Where's Trotter? Why, Trotter is here. I' faith, you and your daughter go up and down, weeping and lamenting and keeping of a lamentation, as who should say, the mill would go with your lamenting.
How now, Trotter? Why complainest thou so?
Why, yonder is a company of young men and maids, keep such a stir for their grist, that they would have it before my stones be ready to grind it. But, faith, I could crick wind enough backwards. You should not tarry for your grist, I warrant you.
Content thee, Trotter, I will go pacify them.
I wis you will when I cannot. Why, look, you have a mill. Why, what's your mill without me? Or rather, mistress, what were I without you?
Here he taketh Em about the neck.
Nay, Trotter, if you fall aching, I will give you over.
I chide you, dame, to amend you. You are too fine to be a miller's daughter. For if you should but stoop to take up the toll dish, you would have the cramps in your finger at least 10 weeks after.
Ah, well said, Trotter. Teach her to play the good housewife, and thou shalt have her to thy wife, if thou canst get her good will.
Ah, words are in, I see matrimony, come loaden with kisses to salute me. Now let me alone to pick the mill, to fill the hopper, to take the toll, to mend the sails, yea, and to make the mill to go with the very force of my love.
Here they must call for their grist within.
I come, i' faith, now you shall have your grist, or else Trotter will trot and amble himself to death.
They call him again. Exit. Scene 3. The Danish court. Enter King of Denmark, with some attendants, Blanche, his daughter, Mariana, Marquis Lubeck, William disguised.
Lord Marquis Lubeck, welcome home. Welcome, brave knight, unto the Denmark king. For William's sake, the noble Norman duke, so famous for his fortunes and success, that graceth him with name of Conqueror. Right double welcome must thou be to us.
And to my lord the king shall I recount your grace's courteous entertainment, that for his sake vouchsafe to honour me, a simple knight attendant on his grace.
But say, sir knight, what may I call your name?
Robert Windsor, and like your majesty.
I tell thee, Robert, I so admire the man that I count it heinous guilt on him that honours not Duke William with his heart. Blanche, bid this stranger welcome, good my girl.
Sir, should I neglect your highness' charge herein, it might be thought of as base discourtesy. Welcome, sir knight, to Denmark, heartily.
Thanks, gentle lady. Lord Marquess, what is she?
That same as Blanche, daughter to the king. The substance of the shadow that you saw.
May this be she, for whom I crossed the seas? I'm ashamed to think I was so fond, in whom there's nothing that contents my mind. Ill-head, worse featured, uncomely, nothing courtly, swart and ill-favoured, a collier's sanguine skin. I never saw a harder favoured slut. Love her? For what? I can no whit abide her.
Mariana, I have this day received letters from Suethia that lets me understand your ransom is collecting there with speed, and shortly shall be hither sent to us.
Not that I find occasion of mislike my entertainment in your grace's court, but I long to see my native home.
And reason have you, madam, for the same. Lord Marquis, I commit unto your charge the entertainment of Sir Robert here. Let him remain with you within the court, in solace and disport to spend the time.
I thank your highness, whose bounden I remain.
Exit King of Denmark. Blanche speaketh this secretly at one end of the stage.
Unhappy Blanche, what strange effects are these, that worketh in my thoughts confusedly, that still methinks affection draws me on to take, to like, nay more, to love this knight?
A modest countenance, no heavy sullen look, not very fair, but richly decked with favour, a sweet face, an exceeding dainty hand, a body were it framed of wax by all the cunning artists in the world, it could not be better proportioned.
How now, Sir Robert? In a study, man? Here is no time for contemplation.
My lord, there is a certain odd conceit which, on the sudden, greatly troubles me.
How like you Blanche? I partly do perceive the little boy hath played the wag with you.
The more I look, the more I love to look. Who says that Mariana is not fair? I'll gauge my gauntlet against the envious man that dares avow there liveth her compare.
Sir Robert, you mistake your counterfeit. This is the lady which you came to see.
Yea, my lord, she is counterfeit indeed, for there is the substance that best contents me.
That is my love. Sir Robert, you do wrong me.
The better for you, sir, she is your love. As for the wrong, I see not how it grows.
In seeking that which is another's right.
As who should say your love was privilege that none might look upon her but yourself?
These jars becomes not our familiarity, nor will I stand on terms to move your patience.
Why, my lord, am I not of flesh and blood as well as you? Then give me leave to love as well as you.
To love, Sir Robert? But whom? Not she I love, nor stands it with the honour of my state to brook co-rivals with me in my love.
So, sir, we are thorough for that lady. Ladies, farewell. Lord Marquess, will you go? I will find time to speak with her, I trow.
With all my heart. Come, ladies, will you walk?
Exit. Scene 4. The English court. Enter Manville alone, disguised.
Ah, M, the subject of my restless thoughts, the anvil whereupon my heart doth be framing thy state to thy desert. Full ill this life becomes thy heavenly looks, wherein sweet love and virtue sits enthroned. Bad world where riches is esteemed above them both, in whose base eyes naught else is bountiful. A miller's daughter, says the multitude, should not be loved of by a gentleman, but let them breathe their souls into the airs. Yet will I still affect thee as myself, so thou be constant in thy plighted vows. But here comes one. I will listen to his talks.
Manville stays, hiding himself. Enter Wallingford at another door, disguised.
Go, William Conqueror, and seek thy love. Seek thou a minion in a foreign land, whilst I draw back and court my love at home. The miller's daughter of fair Manchester had bound my feet to this delightsome soil, and from her eyes do dart such golden beams, that holds my heart in her subjection.
He ruminates on my beloved choice. God grant he come not to prevent my hope. But here's another. Him I'll listen to.
Enter Mountney, disguised, at another door.
Nature unjust, in utterance of thy art, to grace a peasant with prince's fame. Peasant am I, so to misterm my love. Although a miller's daughter by her birth, yet may her beauty and her virtues well suffice to hide the blemish of her birth in hell, where neither envious eyes nor thought can pierce, but endless darkness ever smother it. Go, William Conqueror, and seek thy love, whilst I draw back and court mine own the while, decking her body with such costly robes as may become her beauty worthiness, that so thy labours may be laughed to scorn, and she thou seekest in foreign regions be darkened and eclipsed when she arrives, by one that I have chosen nearer home.
What? Comes he too to intercept my love? And hie thee, Manville, to forestall such foes.
Exit Manville.
What now, Lord Vallingford? Are you behind? The king has chosen you to go with him.
So choose he you. Therefore I marvel much that both of us should linger in this sort. What may the king imagine of our stay?
The king may justly think we are to blame, but I imagined I might well be spared, and that no other man had borne my mind.
The like did I, in friendship then resolve. What is the cause of your unlooked-for stay?
Lord Vallingford, I tell thee as a friend, love is the cause why I have stayed behind.
Love, my lord, of whom?
The miller's daughter of Manchester.
But may this be?
Why not, my lord? I hope full well you know that love respects no difference of state, so beauty serve to stir affection.
But this it is that makes me wonder most, that you and I should be of one conceit in such a strange, unlikely passion.
But is that true? My lord, I hope you do but jest.
I would I did, then were my grief the less.
Nay, never grieve, for if the cause be such, to join our thoughts in such a sympathy, all envy set aside, let us agree, to yield to either's fortune in this choice.
Content, say I, and whatsoe'er befall. Shake hands, my lord, and fortune thrive at all.
Exeunt. End of Act 1. Act 2 of A Pleasant Commodie of Faire Em, the Miller's Daughter of Manchester, with the love of William the Conqueror, by William Shakespeare. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 2, Scene 1. Manchester, the Mill. Enter M and Trotter, the miller's man, with a kerchief on his head, and a urinal in his hand.
Trotter, where have you been?
Where have I been? Why, what signifies this?
A kerchief, doth it not?
What call you this, I pray?
I say it is an urinal.
Then this is mystically to give you to understand. I have been at the Themissary's house.
How long hast thou been sick?
Faith, even as long as I have not been half well, and that hath been a long time.
A loitering time, I rather imagine.
It may be so, but the Fismacary tells me that you can help me.
Why, anything I can do for recovery of thy health be right well assured of.
Then give me your hand.
To what end?
That the ending of an old indenture is the beginning of a new bargain.
What bargain?
That you promise to do anything to recover my health.
On that condition I give thee my hand.
Ah, sweet Em.
Here he offers to kiss her.
How now, Trotter, your master's daughter?
In faith, I am at the fairest. Ah, Em, sweet Em, fresh as the flower that hath pour to wound my heart and ease my smart, of me, poor thief, in prison bounds.
So all your rhyme lies on the ground. But what means this?
Ah, mark the devise, for thee, my love. Full sick I was, in hazard of my life. Thy promise was to make me whole, and for to be my wife. Let me enjoy my love, my dear, and thou possess thy trotters here.
But I meant no such matter.
Yet woe, but you did. I'll go to our parson, Sir John, and he shall mumble up the marriage out of hand.
But here comes one that will forbid the banes.
Here enters Manville to them.
Ah, sir, you come too late.
What remedy, Trotter?
Go, Trotter, my father calls.
Would you have me go in, and leave you two here?
Why, darest thou not trust me?
Yes, faith, even as long as I see you.
Go thy ways, I pray thee heartily.
That same word is of great force. I will go, but I pray, sir, before you come not too near the wench.
Exit Trotter.
I am greatly beholding to you. Ah, mistress, sometime I might have sent my love, but time and fortune hath bereaved me of that, and I, an abject, in those gracious eyes that with remorse erst saw into my grief, may sit and sigh the sorrows of my heart.
Indeed, my Manville hath some cause to doubt, when such a swain is rival in his love.
Ah, Em, were he the man that causes this mistrust, I should esteem of thee as at the first.
But is my love in earnest all this while?
Believe me, Em, it is not time to jest when others' joys what lately I possessed.
If touching love my Manville charge me thus, unkindly must I take it at his hands, for that my conscience clears me of offence.
Ah, impudent and shameless is thy ill, that with thy cunning and defraudful tongue seeks to delude the honest meaning mind. Was never heard in Manchester before of truer love than hath been betwixt us twain, and for my part, how I have hazarded displeasure of my father and my friends, thyself can witness. Yet notwithstanding this, two gentlemen attending on Duke William, Mountney, and Valingford, as I heard them named, oft times resort to see and to be seen, walking the streets fast by thy father's door, whose glancing eyes up to the windows cast gives testies of their master's amorous heart. This, Em, is noted, and too much talked on. Some see it without mistrust of ill. Others there are that scorning grin thereat, and say, there goes the miller's daughter's wooers. Ah me, whom chiefly and most of all it doth concern, to spend my time in grief and vex my soul, to think my love should be rewarded thus, and for thy sake abhor all womankind.
May not a maid look upon a man without suspicious judgment of the world?
If sight do move offence, it is the better not to see. But thou didst more, unconstant as thou art, for with them thou hadst talk and conference.
May not a maid talk with a man without mistrust?
Not with such men suspected amorous.
I grieve to see my Manville's jealousy.
Ah, Em, faithful love is full of jealousy. So did I love thee true and faithfully, for which I am rewarded most unthankfully.
Exit in a rage.
And so away? What in displeasure gone? And left me such a bitter sweet to gnaw upon. Ah, Manville, little wottest thou how near this parting goeth to my heart. Uncourteous love, whose followers reaps reward of hate, disdain, reproach, and infamy, the fruit of frantic bedlam jealousy.
Here enter Mountney to Em.
But here comes one of these suspicious men. Witness, my God, without desert of me. For only Manville honour I in heart, nor shall unkindness cause me from him to start.
For this good fortune, Venus, be thou blessed, to meet my love, the mistress of my heart, where time and place gives opportunity, at full to let her understand my love.
He turns to Em, and offers to take her by the hand, and she goes from him.
Fair mistress, since my fortune sought so well, hear you a word. What meaneth this? Nay, stay, fair Em.
I am going homewards, sir.
Yet stay, sweet love, to whom I must disclose the hidden secrets of a lover's thoughts, no doubting but to find such kind remorse as naturally you're inclined to.
The gentleman, your friend, sir. I have not seen him this 4 days at the least.
What's that to me? I speak not, sweet, in person of my friend, but of myself, whom, if that love deserve to have regard, being honourable love, not base effects of loose, lascivious love, whom youthful wantons play and dally with, but that unites in honourable bands of holy rites, and knits the sacred knot that gods—
What mean you, sir, to keep me here so long? I cannot understand you by your signs. You keep a-prattling with your lips, but never a word you speak that I can hear.
What? Is she deaf? A great impediment, yet remedies there are for such defects. Sweet Em, it is no little grief to me, to see, where nature in her pride of art hath wrought perfections rich and admirable—
Speak you to me, sir?
To thee, my only joy.
I cannot hear you.
O plague of fortune! O hell without compare! What boots it us to gaze and not enjoy?
Fare you well, sir.
Exit M.
Farewell, my love. Nay, farewell, life and all. Could I procure redress for this infirmity, it might be means she would regard my suit. I am acquainted with the king's physicians, amongst the which there's one mine honest friend, Signor Alberto, a very learned man. His judgment will I have to help this ill. Ah, Em, fair Em, if art can make thee whole, I'll buy that sense for thee, although it cost me dear. But Mountney, stay, this may be but deceit, a matter feigned only to delude thee, and not unlike perhaps by Valingford. He loves fair Em as well as I. As well as I? Ah, no, not half so well. Put case, yet may he be thine enemy, and give her counsel to dissemble thus. I'll try the event, and if it fall out so, friendship farewell. Love makes me now a foe.
Exit Mountney. Scene 2. An antechamber at the Danish court. Enter Marquess Lubeck and Mariana.
Trust me, my lord. I am sorry for your hurt.
Gramercy, madam, but it is not great. Only a thrust, pricked with the rapier's point.
How grew the quarrel, my lord?
Sweet lady, for thy sake. There was this last night 2 masks in one company, myself the foremost. The other strangers were, amongst the which, when the music began to sound the measures, each masker made choice of his lady, and one, more forward than the rest, stepped towards thee, which I perceiving thrust him aside and took thee myself. But this was taken in so ill part that at my coming out of the court gate, with justling together, it was my chance to be thrust into the arm. The doer thereof, because he was the original cause of the disorder at that inconvenient time, was presently committed, and is this morning sent for to answer the matter. And I think here he comes.
Here enters Sir Robert of Windsor with a jailer.
What, Sir Robert of Windsor? How now?
I' faith, my lord, a prisoner. But what ails your arm?
Hurt the last night by mischance.
What, not in the mask at the court gate?
Yes, trust me. There.
Why then, my lord, I thank you for my night's lodging.
And I you for my hurt, if it were so. Keeper, away. I discharge you of your prisoner.
Exit the keeper.
Lord Marquess, you offered me disgrace to shoulder me.
Sir, I knew you not. Therefore you must pardon me. And the rather it might be alleged to me of mere simplicity to see another dance with my mistress, disguised, and I myself in presence. But seeing it was our haps to damnify each other unwillingly, let us be content with our harms, and lay the fault where it was, and so become friends.
I' faith, I'm content with my night's lodging, if you be content with your hurt.
Not content that I have it, but content to forget how I came by it.
My lord, here comes Lady Blanche. Let's away.
Enter Blanche.
With goodwill. Lady, you will stay?
Exit Lubeck and Sir Robert.
Madam.
Mariana, as I am grieved with thy presence, so I am not offended for thy absence. And were it not a breach to modesty, thou shouldst know before I left thee.
How near is this humour to madness? If you hold on as you begun, you are in a pretty way to scolding.
To scolding, housewife?
Madam, here comes one.
Here enters one with a letter.
There doth indeed. Fellow, wouldst thou have anything with anybody here?
I have a letter to deliver to the Lady Mariana.
Give it me.
There must none but she have it.
Blanche snatches the letter from him. At exit messenger.
Go to, foolish fellow, and therefore to ease the anger I sustain, I'll be so bold to open it. What's here? Sir Robert greets you well. You, mistress, his love, his life. Oh, amorous man, how he entertains his new mistress, and bestows on Lubeck, his old friend, a horn nightcap to keep his wit.
Madam, though you have discourteously read my letter, yet I pray you give it to me.
Then take it, there, and there, and there.
She tears it. At exit Blanche.
How far doth this differ from modesty? Yet will I gather up the pieces which happily may show to me the intent thereof, though not the meaning.
She gathers up the pieces and joins them.
Your servant and love, Sir Robert of Windsor, alias William the Conqueror, wisheth long health and happiness. Is this William the Conqueror, shrouded under the name of Sir Robert of Windsor? Were he the monarch of the world, he should not dispossess Lubeck of his love. Therefore I will to the court, and there, if I can, close to be friends with Lady Blanche, and thereby keep Lubeck, my love, for myself, and further the Lady Blanche in her suit, as much as I may.
Exit. Scene 3. Manchester, the Mill. Enter M. Sola.
Jealousy that sharps the lover's sight, and makes him conceive and conster his intent, hath so bewitched my lovely Manville's senses, that he misdoubts his Em, that loves his soul. He doth suspect corrivals in his love, which how untrue it is, be judged, my God. But now no more. Here cometh Wallingford. Shift him off now, as thou hast done the other.
Enter Wallingford.
See how fortune presents me with the hope I looked for, fair Em.
Who is that?
I am Wallingford, thy love and friend.
I cry you mercy, sir. I thought so by your speech.
What aileth thy eyes?
Oh, blind, sir. Blind, stricken blind by mishap on a sudden.
But is it possible you should be taken on such a sudden? Infortunate Wallingford, to be thus crossed in thy love. Fair Em, I am not a little sorry to see this thy hard hap. Yet, nevertheless, I am acquainted with a learned physician that will do anything for thee at my request. To him will I resort, and enquire his judgment, as concerning the recovery of so excellent a sense.
O Lord, sir, and of all things I cannot abide physic. The very name thereof to me is odious.
No, not the thing will do thee so much good. Sweet Em, hither I come to parley of love, hoping to have found thee in thy wonted prosperity, and have the gods so unmercifully thwarted my expedition, by dealing so sinisterly with thee, sweet Em?
Good sir, no more. It fits not me to have respect to such vain fantasies as idle love presents my ears withal. more reason I should ghostly give myself to sacred prayers for this my former sin, for which this plague is justly fallen upon me, than to hearken to the vanities of love.
Yet, sweet Em, accept this jewel at my hand, which I bestow on thee in token of my love.
A jewel, sir? What pleasure can I have in jewels, treasure, or any worldly thing, that want my sight that should discern thereof? Ah, sir, I must leave you. The pain of mine eyes is so extreme, I cannot long stay in this place. I take my leave.
Exit M.
Zounds! What a cross is this to my conceit! But, Wallingford, search the depths of this device. Why may not this be feigned subtlety by Mountney's invention, to the intent that I, seeing such occasion, should leave off my suit and not any more persist to solicit her of love? I'll try the event. If I can by any means pursue the effect of this deceit to be procured by his means, friend Mountney, the one of us is like to repent our bargain.
Exit. End of Act 2. Act 3 of A Pleasant Commodie of Faire Em, the Miller's Daughter of Manchester, with the Love of William the Conqueror, by William Shakespeare. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 3, Scene 1. The Danish Court. Enter Mariana and Marquis Lubeck.
Lady, since that occasion, forward and our good, presenteth place and opportunity, let me entreat your wonted kind consent and friendly furtherance in a suit I have.
My lord, you know you need not to entreat, but may command Mariana to her power, be it no impeachment to my honest fame.
Free of my thoughts from such base villainy as may in question, lady, call your name. Yet it is the matter of such consequence, standing upon my honourable credit, to be effected with such zeal and secrecy, as, should I speak and fail my expectation, redound greatly to my prejudice.
My lord, wherein hath Mariana given you occasion that you should mistrust, or else be jealous of my secrecy?
Mariana, do not misconster of me. I not mistrust thee, nor thy secrecy, nor let my love misconster my intent, nor think thereof but well and honourable. Thus stands the case. Thou knowest from England hither came with me Robert of Windsor, a noble man at arms, lusty and valiant, in springtime of his years. No marvel then, though he prove amorous.
True, my lord, he came to see fair Blanche.
No, Mariana, that is not it. His love to Blanche was then extinct when first he saw thy face. 'Tis thee he loves. Yea, thou art only she that is mistress and commander of his thoughts.
Well, well, my lord, I, like you, for such drifts, put silly ladies often to their shifts. Oft have I heard you say you loved me well, yea, sworn the same, and I believed you too. Can this be found in action of good faith, thus to dissemble where you found true love?
Mariana, I not dissemble on mine honour, nor fails my faith to thee, but for my friend, for princely William, by whom thou shalt possess the title and estate of majesty, befitting thy love and virtues of thy mind. For him I speak, for him do I entreat, and with thy favour fully do resign to him the claim and interest of my love. Sweet Mariana, then deny me not. Love William, love my friend, and honour me, who else is clean dishonoured by thy means.
Born to mishap, myself am only she, on whom the sun of fortune never shined, but planets rule by retrograde aspect, foretold mine ill in my nativity.
Sweet lady, cease. Let my entreaties serve to pacify the passion of thy grief, which well I know proceeds of ardent love.
But Lubeck now regards not Mariana.
Even as my life, so love I Mariana.
Why do you post me to another, then?
He is my friend, and I do love the man.
Then will Duke William rob me of my love?
No, as his life, Mariana, he doth love.
Speak for yourself, my lord. Let him alone.
So do I, madam, for he and I am one.
Then loving you, I do content you both.
In loving him, you shall content us both. Me, for I crave that favour at your hands. He, for he hopes that comfort at your hands.
Leave of, my lord. Here comes the Lady Blanche.
Enter Blanche to them.
Hard hap to break us of our talks so soon. Sweet Mariana, do remember me.
Exit Lubeck.
Thy Mariana cannot choose but remember thee.
Mariana, well met. You are very forward in your love.
Madam, be it in secret spoken to yourself. If you will but follow the complot I have invented, you will not think me so forward as yourself shall prove fortunate.
As how?
Madam, as thus, it is not unknown to you that Sir Robert of Windsor, a man that you do not little esteem, hath long importuned me of love, but rather than I will be found false or unjust to the Marquis Lubeck, I will, as did the constant Lady Penelope, undertake to effect some great task.
What of all this?
The next time that Sir Robert shall come in his wonted sort to solicit me with love, I will seem to agree and like of anything that the knight shall demand, so far forth as it to be no impeachment to my chastity, and, to conclude, point some place for to meet the man, for my conveyance from the Denmark court, which determined upon, he will appoint some certain time for our departure, whereof, you having intelligence, you may soon set down a plot to wear the English crown, and then—
What then?
If Sir Robert prove a king, and you his queen, how then?
Were I assured of the one, as I am persuaded of the other, there were some possibility in it. But here comes the man.
Madam, be gone, and you shall see I will work to your desire and my content.
Exit Blanche. Enter William the Conqueror.
Lady, this is well and happily met. Fortune hitherto hath been my foe, and though I have oft sought to speak with you, yet still I have been crossed with sinister haps. I cannot, madam, tell a loving tale, or court my mistress with fabulous discourses, that I am a soldier sworn to follow arms. But this I bluntly let you understand. I honour you with such religious zeal as may become an honourable mind. Nor may I make my love the siege of Troy, that I am a stranger in this country. First, what I am, I know you are resolved, for that my friend hath let you that to understand, the Marquis Lubeck, to whom I am so bound that whilst I live I count me only his.
Surely you are beholding to the Marquis, for he hath been an earnest spokesman in your cause.
And yields, my lady, then, at his request, to Duke William, with their gracious love?
My lord, I am a prisoner, and hard it were to get me from the court.
Ha! An easy matter to get you from the court, if case that you will thereto give consent.
Put case I should, how would you use me then?
Not otherwise, but well and honourably. I have at sea a ship that doth attend, which shall forthwith conduct us into England, where when we are, I straight will marry thee. We may not stay deliberating long, lest that suspicion, envious of our weal, set in a foot to hinder our pretence.
But this I think were most convenient, to mask my face, the better to escape unknown.
A good device. Till then, farewell, fair love.
But this I must entreat your grace. You would not seek by lust unlawfully, to wrong my chaste determinations.
I hold that man most shameless in his sin that seeks to wrong an honest lady's name, whom he thinks worthy of his marriage bed.
In hope your oath is true, I leave your grace till the appointed time.
Exit Mariana.
Oh, happy William, blessed in thy love, most fortunate in Mariana's love. Well, Lubeck, well, this courtesy of thine I will requite, if God permit me life.
Exit. Scene 2. Manchester, near the mill. Enter Wallingford and Mountney at two sundry doors, looking angrily each on other with rapiers drawn.
Wallingford, so hardly I digest an injury thou hast proffered me, as were it not that I detest to do what stands not with the honour of my name, thy death should pay thy ransom of thy fault.
And, Mountney, had not my revenging wrath enchanced with more than ordinary love been loss for to deprive thee of thy life, thou hadst not lived to brave me as thou doest, wretch as thou art. Wherein hath Wallingford offended thee? That honourable bond which late we did confirm in presence of the gods, when with the Conqueror we arrived here, for my part hath been kept inviolably, till now too much abused by thy villainy, I am enforced to cancel all those bands, by hating him which I so well did love.
Subtle thou art, and cunning in thy fraud, that, giving me occasion of offence, thou pick'st a quarrel to excuse thy shame. Why, Wallingford, was it not enough for thee to be a rival twixt me and my love, but counsel her, to my no small disgrace, that when I come to talk with her of love, she should seem deaf, as feigning not to hear?
But hath she, Mountney, used thee as thou sayest?
Thou knowest too well she hath, wherein thou couldst not do me greater injury.
Then I perceive we are deluded both. For when I offered many gifts of gold and jewels to entreat for love, she hath refused them with a coy disdain, alleging that she could not see the sun. The same conjectured I to be thy drift, that feigning so she might be rid of me.
The like did I by thee, but are not there natural impediments?
In my conjecture merely counterfeit. Therefore let's join hands in friendship once again, since that the jar grew only by conjecture.
With all my heart, yet let's try the truth hereof.
With right good will we will straight unto her father, and there to learn whether it be so or no.
Exeunt. Scene 3. Outside the Danish palace. Enter William and Blanche disguised, with a mask over her face.
Come on, my love, the comfort of my life. Disguised thus we may remain unknown, and get we once to seas, I force not then. We quickly shall attain the English shore.
But this I urge you with your former oath, you shall not seek to violate mine honour, until our marriage rites be all performed.
Mariana, here I swear to thee by heaven and by the honour that I bear to arms, never to seek or crave at hands of thee the spoil of honourable chastity, until we do attain the English coast, where thou shalt be my right espoused queen.
In hope your oath proceedeth from your heart, let's leave the court, and betake us to his power, that governs all things to his mighty will, and will reward the just with endless joy, and plague the bad with most extreme annoy.
Lady, as little tarriance as we may, lest some misfortune happen by the way.
Exit Blanche and William. Scene 4. Manchester, the mill. Enter the miller, his men Trotter and Manville.
I tell you, sir, it is no little grief to me you should so hardly conceit of my daughter, whose honest report, though I made it, was never blotted with any title of defamation.
Father Miller, the repair of these gentlemen to your house hath given me great occasion to mislike.
As for those gentlemen, I never saw in them any evil entreaty, but should they have proffered it, her chaste minds have proof enough to prevent it.
Those gentlemen are as honest as ever I saw, for in faith one of them gave me 6 pence to fetch a quart of seek. See, master, Here they come.
Enter Mountney and Wallingford.
Trotter, call M. Now that they are here together, I'll have this matter thoroughly debated.
Exit Trotter.
Father, well met. We are come to confer with you.
Nay, with his daughter, rather.
Thus it is, father. We are come to crave your friendship in a matter.
Gentlemen, as you are strangers to me, yet by the way of courtesy you shall demand any reasonable thing at my hands.
What is the matter so forward that they come to crave his good will?
It is given us to understand that your daughter is suddenly become both blind and deaf.
Marie, God forbid! I have sent for her. Indeed, she hath kept her chamber this 3 days. It were no little grief to me if it should be so.
This is God's judgment for her treachery.
Enter Trotter, leading M.
Gentlemen, I fear your words are too true. See where Trotter comes leading of her. What ails my M? Not blind, I hope.
M. aside.
Mounty and Wallingford both together, and Manville, to whom I have faithfully vowed my love. Now, M, suddenly help thyself.
This is no dissembling, Wallingford.
If it be, it is cunningly contrived of all sides.
M. aside to Trotter.
Trotter, lend me thy hand, and as thou lovest me, keep my counsel, and justify whatsoever I say, and I'll largely requite thee.
Ah, that's as much as to say you would tell a monstrous, terrible, horrible, outrageous lie, and I shall sooth it. No, dear lady.
My present extremity wills me, if thou love me, Trotter.
That same word love makes me to do anything.
Trotter, where's my father?
Why, what a blind dunce are you! Can you not see? He standeth right before you.
He thrusts M upon her father.
Is this my father? Good father, give me leave to sit where I may not be disturbed. Sith God hath visited me both of my sight and hearing.
Tell me, sweet M, how came this blindness? Thy eyes are lovely to look on, and yet have they lost the benefit of their sight. What a grief is this to thy poor father!
Good father, let me not stand as an open gazing stock to every one, but in a place alone, as fits a creature so miserable.
Trotter, lead her in, the utter overthrow of poor Goddard's joy and only solace.
Exit the miller, Trotter, and M.
Both blind and deaf! Then is she no wife for me, and glad am I so good occasion has happened. Now will I away to Chester, and leave these gentlemen to their blind fortune.
Exit Manville.
Since fortune hath thus spitefully crossed our hope, let us leave this quest, and hearken after our king, who is at this day landed at Liverpool.
Exit Mountney.
Go, my lord, I'll follow you. Well, now Mountney is gone, I'll stay behind to solicit my love, for I imagine that I shall find this but a vain invention, thereby to have us leave off our suits.
Exit Wallingford. Scene 5. The Danish court. Enter Marquis Lubeck and the King of Denmark, Engeli, with some attendants.
Well, Lubeck, well, it is not possible that you must be consenting in this act. Is this the man so highly you extolled, and play a part so hateful to his friend? Since first he came with thee into the court, what entertainment and what countenance he hath received, none better knows than thou. In recompense whereof he quites me well to steal away fair Mariana my prisoner, whose ransom being lately agreed upon, I am deluded of by this escape. Besides, I know not how to answer it when she shall be demanded home to Suethia.
My gracious lord, conjecture not, I pray, worser of Lubeck than he doth deserve. Your highness knows Mariana was my love, sole paragon and mistress of my thoughts. Is it likely I should know of her departure wherein there is no man injured more than I?
That carries reason, Marquis, I confess. Call forth my daughter. Yet I am persuaded that she, poor soul, suspected not her going. For as I hear, she likewise loved the man, which he, to blame, did not at all regard.
Enter Rozilio and Mariana.
My lord, here is the Princess Mariana. It is your daughter is conveyed away.
What? My daughter gone? Now, Marquis, your villainy breaks forth. This match is of your making, gentle sir, and you shall dearly know the price thereof.
Knew I thereof, or that there was intent in Robert thus to steal your highness' daughter? Let heavens and justice presently confound me.
Not all the protestations thou canst use shall save thy life. Away with him to prison. And, minion, otherwise it cannot be, but you are an agent in this treachery. I will revenge it thoroughly on you both. Away with her to prison. Here's stuff indeed. My daughter stolen away? It booteth not thus to disturb myself, but presently to send to English William to send me that proud knight of Windsor hither, here in my court to suffer for his shame, or at my pleasure to be punished there, with all that Blanche be sent me home again, or I shall fetch her unto Windsor's cost. Yea, and William's too, if he deny her me.
Exit Zweno and the rest. Scene 6. England. Camp of the Earl de March. Enter William, taken with soldiers.
Could any plague be worse? Could heaven or hell, did both conspire in one to afflict my soul, invent a greater scourge than presently I am tormented with? Oh, Mariana, cause of my lament, joy of my heart, and comfort of my life, for though I breathe my sorrows in the air, and tire myself, or silently I sigh, my sorrows afflict my soul with equal passion.
Go to, sirrah, put up. It is to small purpose.
Hence, villains, hence! Dare you lay your hands upon your sovereign?
Well, sir, we will deal for that, but here comes one will remedy all this.
Enter the March.
My lord, watching this night in the camp, we took this man, and know not what he is, and in his company was a gallant dame, a woman fair in outward show she seemed, but that her face was masked we could not see the grace and favour of her countenance.
Tell me, good fellow, of whence and what thou art.
Why do you not answer, my lord? He takes scorn to answer.
And takest thou scorn to answer my demand? Thy proud behaviour very well deserves this misdemeanour, at the worst, to be construed. Why, dost thou neither know, nor hast thou heard, that in the absence of the Saxon Duke, DeMarch is his especial substitute, to punish those that shall offend the laws?
In knowing this, I know thou art a traitor, a rebel, and a mutinous conspirator. Why, DeMarch, knowest thou who I am?
Pardon, my dread lord, the error of my sense, and misdemeanour to your princely excellency.
Why, DeMarch, what is the cause my subjects are in arms?
Free are my thoughts, my dread and gracious lord, from treason to your state and commonwealth. Only revengement of a private grudge by Lord Dirot lately proffered me, that stands not with the honour of my name, is cause I have assembled for my guard some men in arms that may withstand his force, whose settled malice aimeth at my life.
Where is Lord Dirot?
In arms, my gracious lord, not past 2 miles from hence, as credibly I am ascertained.
Well, come, let us go. I fear I shall find traitors of you both.
Exit. End of Act 3. Act 4 of A Pleasant Commodie of Faire Em, the Miller's Daughter of Manchester, with the Love of William the Conqueror, by William Shakespeare. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 4, Scene 1. Chester, before the citizen's house. Enter the citizen of Chester and his daughter Eleanor and Manville.
Indeed, sir, it would do very well if you could entreat your father to come hither. But if you think it be too far, I care not much to take horse and ride to Manchester. I am sure my daughter is content with either. How sayest thou, Eleanor? Art thou not?
As you shall think best. I must be contented.
Well, Eleanor, farewell. Only thus much, I pray. Make all things in readiness, either to serve here, or to carry thither with us.
As for that, sir, take you no care, and so I betake you to your journey.
Exit Manville. Enter Wallingford.
But soft, what gentleman is this?
Godspeed, sir. Might a man crave a word or two with you?
God forbid else, sir. I pray you speak your pleasure.
The gentleman that parted from you, was he not of Manchester, his father living there of good account?
Yes, merry is he, sir. Why do you ask? Belike you have had some acquaintance with him.
I have been acquainted in times past, but through his double dealing I am grown weary of his company. For, be it spoken to you, he hath been acquainted with a poor miller's daughter, and divers times hath promised her marriage. But what with his delays and flouts, he hath brought her into such a taking that I fear me it will cost her her life.
To be plain with you, sir, his father and I have been of old acquaintance. An motion was made between my daughter and his son, which is now thoroughly agreed upon, save only the place appointed for the marriage, whether it shall be kept here or at Manchester, and for no other occasion is he now ridden.
What hath he done to you, that you should speak so ill of the man?
O gentlewoman, I cry you mercy. He is your husband that shall be.
If I knew this to be true, he should not be my husband were he ne'er so good. And therefore, good father, I would desire you to take the pains to bear this gentleman company to Manchester, to know whether this be true or no.
Now trust me, gentleman, he deals with me very hardly, knowing how well I meant to him. But I care not much to ride to Manchester, to know whether his father's will be he should deal with me so badly. Will it please you, sir, to go in? We will presently take horse and away.
If it please you to go in, I'll follow you presently.
Exit Eleanor and her father.
Now shall I be revenged on Manville, and by this means get Em to my wife, and therefore I will straight to her fathers and inform them both of all that is happened.
Exit. Scene 2. The English court. Enter William, the Ambassador of Denmark, DiMarch, and other attendants.
What news with the Denmark ambassador?
Marry thus, the King of Denmark and my sovereign doth send to know of thee what is the cause that injuriously against the law of arms thou hast stolen away his only daughter, Blanche, the only stay and comfort of his life. Therefore by me he willeth thee to send his daughter, Blanche, or else forthwith he will levy such an host as soon shall fetch her in despite of thee.
Ambassador, this answer I return thy king. He willeth me to send his daughter Blanche, saying, I conveyed her from the Danish court, that never yet did once as think thereof. As for his menacing and daunting threats, I ne'll regard him nor his Danish power, for if he come to fetch her forth my realms, I will provide him such a banquet here that he shall have small cause to give me thanks.
Is this your answer, then?
It is, and so be gone.
I go, but to your cost.
Exit Embassador.
DeMarch, our subjects, erst levied in civil broils, muster forthwith, for to defend the realm, in hope whereof, that we shall find you true, we freely pardon this thy late offence.
Most humble thanks I render to your grace.
Exeunt. Scene 3. Manchester. The Mill. Enter the miller and Wallingford.
Alas, gentlemen, why should you trouble yourself so much, considering the imperfections of my daughter, which is able to withdraw the love of any man from her, as already it hath done in her first choice? Master Manville hath forsaken her, and at Chester shall be married to a man's daughter of no little wealth. But if my daughter knew so much, it would go very near her heart, I fear me.
Father Miller, such is the entire affection to your daughter, as no misfortune whatsoever can alter. My fellow Mountney, thou seest, gave quickly over, but I, by reason of my good meaning, am not so soon to be changed, although I am born of with scorns and denial.
Enter M to them.
Trust me, sir, I know not what to say. My daughter is not to be compelled by me, but here she comes herself. Speak to her, and spare not, for I never was troubled with love matters so much before.
M aside.
Good Lord, shall I never be rid of this importunate man? Now must I dissemble blindness again. Once more for thy sake, Manville, thus I am enforced, because I shall complete my full resolved mind to thee. Father, where are you?
Here, sweet Em. Answer this gentleman, that would so fain enjoy thy love.
Where are you, sir? Will you never leave this idle and vain pursuit of love? Is not England stored enough to content you, but you must still trouble the poor contemptible maid of Manchester?
None can content me but the fair maid of Manchester.
I perceive love is vainly described that, being blind himself, would have you likewise troubled with a blind wife, having the benefit of your eyes. But neither follow him so much in folly, but love one in whom you may better delight.
Father Miller, thy daughter shall have honour by granting me her love. I am a gentleman of King William's court, and no mean man in King William's favour.
If you be a lord, sir, as you say, you offer both yourself and me great wrong, yours as a parent in limiting your love so unorderly, for which you rashly endure reproachment, mine as open and evident, when being shut from the vanities of this world, you would have me as an open gazing-stock to all the world, for lust, not love, leads you in this error. But from the one I will keep me as well as I can, and yield the other to none but to my father, as I am bound by duty.
Why, fair Em, Manville hath forsaken thee, and must at Chester be married, which if I speak otherwise than true, let thy father speak what credibly he hath heard.
But can it be Manville will deal so unkindly to reward my justice with such monstrous ungentleness? Have I dissembled for thy sake, and dost thou now thus requite it? Indeed, these many days I have not seen him, which hath made me marvel at his long absence. But, father, are you assured of the words he spake were concerning Manville?
In sooth, daughter, now it is forth, I must needs confirm it. Master Manville hath forsaken thee, and at Chester must be married to a man's daughter of no little wealth. His own father procures it, and thereon I dare credit it, and do thou believe it, For trust me, daughter, it is so.
Then, good father, pardon the injury that I have done to you, wanly causing your grief, by over-fond affecting a man so truthless. And you likewise, sir, I pray hold me excused, as I hope this cause will allow sufficiently for me. My love to Manville, thinking he would requite it, hath made me double with my father and you, and many more besides, which I will no longer hide from you. That enticing speeches should not beguile me, I have made myself deaf to any but him, and lest any man's person should please me more than his, I have dissembled the want of my sight, both which shadows of my irrevocable affections I have not spared to confirm before him, my father, and all other amorous solicitors, wherewith, not made acquainted, I perceive my true intent hath wrought mine own sorrow, and seeking by love to be regarded, am cut off with contempt and despised.
Tell me, sweet Em, hast thou but feigned all this while for his love, that hast so discourteously forsaken thee?
Credit me, father, I have told you the truth, wherewith I desire you and Lord Vallingford not to be displeased. For aught else I shall say, let my present grief hold me excused. But may I live to see that ungrateful man justly rewarded for his treachery, poor Em would think herself not a little happy. Favour my departing at this instant, for my troubled thought desires to meditate alone in silence.
Exit M.
Will not Em shew one cheerful look on Vallingford?
Alas, sir, blame her not. You see she hath good cause, being so handled by this gentleman. And so I'll leave you, and go comfort my poor wench as well as I may.
Exit the miller.
Farewell, good father.
Exit Vallingford. End of Act 4. Act 5 of A Pleasant Comedy of Fair Em, the Miller's Daughter of Manchester, with the Love of William the Conqueror, by William Shakespeare. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 5, Scene 1. Open country in England. Enter Zweno, King of Denmark, with Rozilio and other attendants.
Rozilio, is this the place whereas Duke William should meet me?
It is, and like your grace.
Go, Captain. Away, regard the charge I gave. See, all our men are marshalled for the fight. Dispose the wards as lately was devised, and let the prisoners under several guards be kept apart until you hear from us. Let this suffice. You know my resolution. If William, Duke of Saxons, be the man that by his answers sent us, he would seem, not words but wounds, not parleys but alarms, must be decider of this controversy. Rozilio, stay with me, the rest be gone.
Exeunt. Enter William and DeMarch with other attendants.
All but DeMarch, go shroud you out of sight, for I will go parley with the prince myself.
Should Zweno by this parley call you forth upon intent injuriously to deal, this offereth too much opportunity.
No, DeMarch, that were a breach against the law of arms. Therefore be gone, and leave us here alone.
Exeunt.
I see that Zweno is a master of his word. Zweno, William of Saxony greeteth thee, either well or ill, according to thy intent. If well thou wish to him, and Saxony, he bids thee friendly welcome as he can. If ill thou wish to him, and Saxony, he must withstand thy malice as he may.
William, For other name and title give I none to him who, were he worthy of those honours that fortune and his predecessors left, I ought by right and human courtesy to grace his style with Duke of Saxony. But for I find a base degenerate mind, I frame my speech according to the man, and not the state that he unworthy holds.
Herein, Zweno, dost thou abase thy state to break the peace by which our ancestors hath heretofore been honourably kept?
And should that peace for ever have been kept, had not thyself been author of the breach. Nor stands it with the honour of my state, or nature of a father to his child, that I should so be robbed of my daughter, and not unto the utmost of my power revenge so intolerable an injury.
Is this the colour of your quarrel, Zweno? I well perceive the wisest men may err. And think you I conveyed away your daughter Blanche?
Art thou so impudent to deny thou didst, when that the proof thereof is manifest?
What proof is there?
Thine own confession is sufficient proof.
Did I confess I stole your daughter Blanche?
Thou didst confess thou hadst a lady hence.
I have, and do.
Why, that was Blanche, my daughter.
Nay, that was Mariana, who wrongfully thou detainest prisoner.
Shameless persisting in thy ill, thou dost maintain a manifest untruth, as she shall justify unto thy teeth. Rozilio, fetch her and the Marquis hither.
Exit Rozilio for Mariana.
Cannot be I should be so deceived.
I heard this night among the soldiers that in their watch they took a pensive lady, who at the appointment of Lord Dirot is yet in keeping. What she is I know not, only thus much I overheard by chance.
And what of this?
It may be Blanche, the King of Denmark's daughter.
It may be so, but on my life it is not. Yet, DeMarch, go, and fetch her straight.
Exit DeMarch. Enter Rozilio with the Marquis.
Pleaseth your highness, here is the Marquis and Mariana.
See here, Duke William, your competitors that were consenting to my daughter's scape. Let them resolve you the truth herein. And here I vow and solemnly protest that in thy presence they shall lose their heads, unless I hear whereas my daughter is.
O Marquis Lubeck, how it grieveth me that for my sake thou shouldest endure these bonds. Be judge my soul that feels the martyrdom.
Duke William, you know it is for your cause. It pleaseth thus the king to misconceive of me, and for his pleasure doth me injury.
Enter DeMarch with the Lady Blanche.
May it please your highness, here is the lady whom you sent me for.
Away, DeMarch! What tellest me thou of ladies? I so detest the dealing of their sex, as that I count a lover's state to be the base and vilest slavery in the world.
What humours are these? Here's a strange alteration.
See, Duke William, is this a Blanche or no? You know her if you see her, I am sure.
Zweno, I was deceived, yea, utterly deceived. Yet this is she, this same is Lady Blanche, and for mine error here I am content to do whatever Zweno shall set down. Oh, cruel Mariana, thus to use the man who loved and honoured thee with his heart.
When I first came into your highness's court, and William, often importing me of love, I did devise, to ease the grief of your daughter did sustain, she should meet Sir William masked, as I it were. This put in proof did take so good effect, as yet it seems his grace is not resolved, but it was I which he conveyed away.
May this be true? It cannot be but true. Was it Lady Blanche which I conveyed away? Unconstant Mariana, thus to deal with him who meant to thee naught but faith.
Pardon, dear father, my follies that are past, wherein I have neglected my duty, which I, in reverence, ought to show your grace. For, led by love, I have thus gone astray, and now repent the errors I was in.
Stand up, dear daughter. Though thy fault deserves for to be punished in the extremest sort, yet love, that covers multitude of sins, makes loving parents wink at children's faults. Sufficeth, Blanche, thy father loves thee so, thy follies past he knows, but will not know. And here, Duke William, take my daughter to thy wife, for well I am assured she loves thee well.
A proper conjunction, as who should say, lately come out of the fire. I would go thrust myself into the flames. Let Mistress Nice go saint it where she list, and coyly quainted with dissembling face. I hold in scorn the fooleries that they use. I, being free, will never subject myself to any such as she is underneath the sun.
Refuseth thou to take my daughter to thy wife? I tell thee, Duke, this rash denial may bring more mischief on thee than thou canst avoid.
Conceit hath wrought such general dislike through the false dealing of Mariana, that utterly I do abhor their sex. They are all disloyal, unconstant, all unjust. Who tries as I have tried, and finds as I have found, will say there's no such creatures on the ground.
Unconstant knight, though some deserve no trust, there's others faithful, loving, loyal, and just.
Enter to them Wallingford with Em and the miller, and Mountney and Manville and Elner.
How now, Lord Wallingford, what makes these women here?
Here be two women, may it please your grace, that are contracted to one man, and are in strife whether shall have him to their husband.
Stand forth, women, and say to whether of you did he first give his faith?
To me, forsooth.
To me, my gracious lord.
Speak, Manville, to whether didst thou give thy faith?
To say the truth, this maid had first my love.
Yea, Manuel, but there was no witness by.
Thy conscience, Manville, is 100 witnesses.
She has stolen a conscience to serve her own turn, but you are deceived. Faith, he will none of you.
Indeed, dread lord, so dear I held her love, as in the same I put my whole delight, but some impediments which at that instant happened made me forsake her quite, for which I had her father's frank consent.
What were the impediments?
Why, she could neither hear nor see.
Now she doth both. Maiden, how were you cured?
Pardon, my lord, I tell your grace the truth, be it not imputed to me as discredit. I loved this Manville so much that still my thought, when he was absent, did present to me the form and feature of that countenance, which I did shrine and idol in mine heart. And never could I see a man, methought, that equalled Manville in my partial eye. Nor was there any love between us lost, but that I held the same in high regard, until repair of some unto our house, of whom my Manville grew thus jealous. As if he took exception, I vouchsafed to hear them speak, or saw them when they came, on which I straight took order with myself to void the scruple of his conscience, by counterfeiting that I never saw nor heard. Any ways to rid my hands of them, All this I did to keep my Manville's love, which he unkindly seeks for to reward.
And did my Em, to keep her faith with me, dissemble that she neither heard nor saw? Pardon me, sweet Em, for I am only thine.
Lay off thy hands, disloyal as thou art, nor shalt thou have possession of my love, that canst so finely shift thy matters off. Put case I had been blind, and could not see, as oftentimes such visitation falls that pleaseth God, which all things doth dispose. Shouldest thou forsake me in regard of that? I tell thee, Manville, hast thou been blind, or deaf, or dumb, or else what impediments might befall to man, Em would have loved and kept and honoured thee, yea, begged, if wealth had failed, for thy relief.
Forgive me, sweet Em.
I do forgive thee with my heart, and will forget thee too, if case I can, but never speak to me, nor seem to know me.
Then farewell, Frost. Well fare, O wench that will. Now, Elna, I am thine own, my girl.
Mine, Manuel? Thou never shalt be mine. I so detest thy villainy, that whilst I live I will abhor thy company.
Is it come to this? Of late I had choice of twain on either side to have me to her husband, and now am utterly rejected of them both.
My lord, this gentleman, when time was, stood something in our light, and now I think it not amiss to laugh at him that sometime scorned at us.
Content, my lord, invent the form.
Then thus.
I see that women are not general evils. Blanche is fair. Methinks I see in her a modest countenance, a heavenly blush. Zweno, receive a reconciled foe, not as thy friend, but as thy son-in-law, if so that thou be thus content.
I joy to see your grace so tractable. Here, take my daughter Blanche, and after my decease the Denmark crown.
Now, sir, how stands the case with you?
I partly am persuaded, as your grace is. My lord, he is best at ease that meddleth least.
Sir, may a man be so bold as to crave a word with you?
Yea, 2 or 3. What are they?
I say, this maid will have thee to her husband.
And I say this, and thereof will I lay £100.
And I say this, whereon I will lay as much.
And I say neither. What say you to that?
If that be true, then we are both deceived.
Why, it is true, and you are both deceived.
In mine eyes this is the properest wench. Might I advise thee, take her unto thy wife?
It seems to me she hath refused him.
Why, there's the spite.
If one refuse him, yet may he have the other.
He will ask but her goodwill, and all her friends.
Might I advise thee, let them both alone.
Yea, that's the course, and thereon will I stand. Such idle love henceforth I will detest.
The fox will eat no grapes. And why?
I know full well, because they hang too high.
And may it be a miller's daughter by her birth? I cannot think but she is better born.
Sir Thomas Goddard hight this reverend man, famed for his virtues and his good success, whose fame hath been renowned through the world.
Sir Thomas Goddard, welcome to thy prince, and fair Em, frolic with thy good father. As glad am I to find Sir Thomas Goddard as good Sir Edmund Trefford on the plains, he like a shepherd, and thou our country miller.
And longer let not Goddard live a day than he in honour loves his sovereign.
But say, Sir Thomas, shall I give thy daughter?
Goddard, and all that he hath, does rest at the pleasure of your majesty.
And what says Em to lovely Valingford? It seems he loved you well, that for your sake dost leave his king.
Em rests at the pleasure of your highness. and would I were a wife for his desert.
Then here, Lord Vallingford, receive fair Em. Here, take her. Make her thy espoused wife. There, go we in, that preparation may be made to see these nuptials solemnly performed.
Exeunt all. Sound drums and trumpets. Finis. End of Act 5. End of A Pleasant Comedy of Fair Em, the Miller's Daughter of Manchester, with the Love of William the Conqueror, by William Shakespeare.